So what should I get?
Hot dog.
A hot dog?
Yeah.
One coney?
One everything.
Let's do it.
Why not?
One up. Oh, nice. Thank you very much. That looks good. Abdi, this is my first coney dog.
This is the one. You are in the right place.
That's what I heard.
The best in the country.
I need a little break from pizza, so I came over here to see my guy. And he hooked me up with the best dog in town. All right, this is good.
You want another one? One more to be good.
One more, let's do
Why
it.
not?
Detroit may be known as the Motor City, but it's also the Pizza City.
Yeah, we're the Motown, but we're also the Dough Town.
Oh,
no doubt about
I
it.
like that. Pizza here is unique. It's rectangular, cooked in a blue steel pan, and has that iconic caramelized crust. It's easy to see why this pizza is so popular, not only in Detroit, but all over the country. There's even a Detroit-style pizzeria down the block from me in Brooklyn.
Pizza time.
Ooh, that looks
Pepperoni
good.
Supreme.
Whoa, look at that cheese. I'm hitting up the classics, some newer spots, even one of the biggest chains built in this city. I'm headed to Detroit to see why this city is such a good place for pizza.
Hello, you watching the Pizza Show on Munchies? Welcome to Detroit.
So we're standing outside of Buddy's, one of the most iconic pizzerias in Detroit and really in the country. It's the birthplace of Detroit-style pizza. I'm really excited to kind of get in there and see what it's all about. Buddy's has been around since the 30s, but it wasn't always serving pizza. This was an after-hours gambling and drinking joint, until Gus Guerra put pizza on the menu in 1946. I'm meeting up with Larry Simone, a longtime employee of Buddy's and a Detroit-style pizza enthusiast. How would you describe the classic Detroit-style pizza?
Detroit style is that deep dish pizza in a seasoned blue steel pan in an oven that's set up a certain way, made fresh daily.
There it is.
There you go, gentlemen.
Awesome.
Wow, very nice.
Thank you so much.
Well, what we have here is the original Buddy's pizza, and then we made in honor of the people of Detroit a spicier pizza, and we call that the Detroiter.
I'll tell you what, just looking at this pizza, looking at that caramelized cheese in the corner, my mouth is starting to water.
It's quite a treat.
All right, can we eat?
Let's eat. Get that corner piece.
That's what I want. I have my eyes on this one.
Get some of that crust on the edge. There's where that flavor is. Nice crunch.
You know, the cheese on the edge is great, but really what sticks out to me is how light it is. The pizza's incredibly light and fluffy, which I
No
love.
heavy gum zone. It's just like angel food cake, a nice crunch on the bottom. Then you got your pepperoni, your cheese, and finishing off with the sauce. You know, Buddy's, in 1936, this was a blind pig. In 1946, it became Buddy's Rendezvous. Connie Pancetta helped Gus Guerrero develop the pizza recipe. She and all these women, we call the Supreme Court, they guarded the secrets of the pizza, no deviation, made true to this very day.
Well, just the fact that you guys are sort of the iconic pizzeria for Detroit. You know, when people talk about Detroit, they talk about Buddy's. When they talk about Detroit pizza, this is the style that they're referencing, and it was all born here.
A lot of people, they go to Philly, they get a cheesesteak. When you come to Detroit, you've got to get a Buddy's pizza. There's no doubt about it. We've stood the test of time. Detroit's quite a story of the ups and downs, but Buddy's has been there ever since, 71 years ago, and pizza is what people love in Detroit, and this is Detroit style.
Just like any other great pizza city, there always seems to be a pizza family tree. It all begins at one pizzeria and branches off from there. Gus Guerra left Buddy's in 1953 to open a new place, Cloverleaf. I was lucky enough to sit down with Gus's son, Jack. Who's on the back, right behind us over
That's
there?
my father back there.
Okay.
My mother's on the other side, on the left side. He's been inspiration to, you know, my family since I can remember.
Tell me about your father. Tell me about Gus. What did he do?
Well, my dad came here in '29 with about 18 bucks in his pocket, went to Ohio, worked in the stone quarries. When Ford announced the $10 a day job, he moved up to Michigan.
And when did the Detroit style pizza come along that he's so famously known for?
Well, in 44, my dad and my mother's two uncles bought Buddies. And now the war is coming over, right? It's 1945, and they're all coming back. Everybody's opened up fish and chip stores, right? My dad said, well, why don't we try doing some pizza? He never told me that day or ever in my life where he picked the pan or how he picked the pan. All I know is they were working off of my grandmother's spin tuning pizza.
How would you describe the Detroit style pizza that your father is famous for creating?
Some of his customers said it was 100 times better than getting a sandwich, you know, and heating it up. Okay, first thing we do, we take a sprinkle of a little oregano on top. It's just for a little bit of flavor.
And is that mozzarella cheese there?
That's a mozzarella and brick blend.
Yep.
Layers of pepperoni on top now. We used to put them all underneath in the old days.
Right.
And our customers always say there's no pepperoni on here. And you could take a fork anywhere on a pizza and find the pepperoni, but if they don't see them, they don't believe it. We're
is
pretty
looking
liberal
good
with
already.
the toppings.
So the goal is to have a little bit of everything on every bite.
Yes, sir. When we were making the pizza, we had cheese and pepperoni. And then we started having people bring stuff to us. Like one customer came in one day, he said, hey, Gus, and I said, yeah. He says, put these on my pizza. I only had 2 green peppers. Now, these will probably take about 20 minutes to bake.
This needs a little bit of time to kind of gain the structure that you want.
It needs plenty of time. It's just like baking at home. You don't want to rush it.
And here we go. Wow. I can't wait to dig in.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do it. You got to eat one with me. You can't
Take a
make me
bite,
eat it
Frank.
alone.
Okay. Notice you took a corner.
This is really delicious. It's light, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
it
has
is.
a lot of textures to it, but it's light. So growing up at the pizzeria, what jobs did you do here?
I did everything. I washed dishes, I did floors. My dad used to make the dough by hand because we didn't have mixers in the old days.
Just talking to you, I could tell you're a very humble guy. And the pizza that your family has created is sort of really resonating throughout the country.
All I can say is I'm happy. You
Yeah.
know, I really am.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Another classic Detroit pizzeria is Louie's. And of course, Louis started his pizza career at Buddy's. From the Formica tables to the Chianti bottles hanging on the walls, Louis is a total 70s throwback. Louis passed away a few years ago, but his grandson Nick and daughter Kathy are running the restaurant just like he did.
That's my grandpa right there. That's Louis himself.
That's Louis, huh?
That's the guy.
Wow. You look a lot like your grandfather.
Yeah, that's what everyone says, the nose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Louis is a well-known pizzeria here in Detroit. How did it all start?
My great uncle slash godfather owned half a Buddy's with a partner. And he called my dad and said, you know, I need some help. My dad was 17, and they made him a kitchen manager.
When your father came here, what was the style of pizza that he was making, that he tweaked it to?
It was square deep dish.
Right.
But as far as I know, it was only like cheese and pepperoni. Then he said customers started bringing in baggies with cut up peppers and cut up whatever they wanted.
That always happens,
My
right?
grandpa was a total traditionalist. Not too many toppings.
Not too many toppings.
Too many toppings makes a doughy pizza.
How would you describe what a Louis pizza looks like?
A dark golden crust, nice, deep, thick walls, good amount of cheese so you get that nice cheese pull when you take a bite. One slice will fill you up.
Whoa, look at that cheese.
I don't have a fork.
This is more what everybody calls a fork and knife pizza.
Delicious. Oh, am I doing it the wrong way?
No, there's no wrong way as long as it's getting in your stomach.
I like
No,
that.
my dad always said throw away the fork and the knife.
The crust on the side is really my favorite, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Detroit has some pretty damn good pizza. And when it comes to the classics, the top guys, you guys are really doing it amazing. Woo! This is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens. There's the oven. They're old, man.
How many years old are those ovens?
Since we opened, I'm
Never changed.
never changed, no.
Wow.
Just got work done on them. Just as equally important as cooking pizzas, you gotta take care of your pans, man. We scrape them, we wipe them, then we re-oil them, and then they're ready to start the next day. It's a very important job. I mean, if the pizzas don't come out nice, you get a extra burnt piece on your crust, and it's just like, no.
There's more?
Yeah, there's more. There's the storage area.
Oh my God.
which used to be like a banquet hall. Supposedly it's haunted.
Well, somebody's got to play that piano, right? You have a haunted room.
Just
It
start
has
playing
to
out
look
of
like
nowhere. This is back when we used to sell spaghetti by the bucket.
this. Love it.
I don't know how it took off, and
It was Papa's idea.
Who doesn't want a bucket of spaghetti? Come on. I visited the classics and they were really delicious, but I really want to see how other people interpret this Detroit style. At Amar Pizza and HAMTRAMCK, they have a very unique approach to Detroit style pizza.
So Amar Pizza is owned by 4 brothers. They grew up in Hamtramck. They wanted something that they could put their Bengali twist on. So create a tandoori pizza, a naga pizza with the naga pepper flavor that you find that in every Bengali house.
I'm meeting up with one of Amar's regular customers, Jason Hall. He's most well known for heading up Slow Roll Detroit, a weekly community bike ride. But his most recent project is pizza focused. Jason has challenged himself to eat at least one slice of pizza every day for an entire year. What do we have here?
This one is a square deep dish naga pizza, house-made naga sauce, chicken, red onions, and cilantro. This is our tandoori in a regular hand toss. It has tandoori sauce also made here, chicken, red onions.
I'm going for this corner. Right
Hell
here.
yeah. Oh, you're a corner guy?
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
me.
Yeah. Always start at the corner. Cheers.
Bro, all the flavor from the herbs really comes off. It's got some spice to it too. The crust is real good.
We're in Hamtramck, which is really right slap next to Detroit. When you look at the history of Hamtramck, when you look way back, it was really predominantly Polish at one time. Okay. Since then has become this incredible mecca of Muslim life, Bangladeshi life, all kinds of people mixing over here, and that's where you're getting pizzas like this. This doesn't exist anywhere, so you gotta come to Amar if you want this.
So you eat a slice of pizza every day and then you do write about it or something like that, or how does it work?
Well, I don't go places and say this is good, this is bad. I just want to enjoy pizza.
Right.
The goal of that was to like meet as many people as possible,
Right.
at as many places, and engage people in my own city and talk about what's going on over pizza.
Right, this is the platform. This brings people to the table. Now that you're at the table, you could talk about the important stuff.
That's what pizza kind of does, man. You know what I mean?
And there was one more pizza for me to try.
This is our dry fish pizza on our thin crust dough. It's got fish paste as the sauce, and then it's got dried shrimp and garlic flakes on the top, cilantro, onion.
I could tell I'm gonna love this. I smell it
Spicy
already.
Also, so
Little spicy?
yeah, that one's spicy.
All right, well, I'm brave.
You're on your own on this one,
Yeah,
brother.
that's not for you?
You're on
All
your
right.
own on this one.
You know what? The dried shrimp, it smells like something out of Southeast Asia. I'm gonna go for it. Delish. It's very unique. I've never had anything like it as far as pizza goes. Nothing.
Oh my God.
Look, there's a little one right here. Look at that little one.
Oh no, I
Look
just
at that
got
little one. Look
Okay,
at
I did
that.
just get a whiff of it.
Oh,
okay,
you got a
now give
whip?
it- put
Come
it
on,
there.
come on.
It actually isn't that bad.
Nah, it's good.
I don't know if I'd say it's good, but it's not as bad as I thought it'd be.
I'm obviously here for pizza, and really we wanted to kind of hit the classic spots in Detroit. One side of Detroit, which is the mom and pop, but I'm really excited also to kind of get over to Little Caesars headquarters and hear the story behind that empire.
I'm
Get
with
to
that.
the bottom of that story.
I'm with that. How do you turn a pizza joint in Garden City into 2 major sports teams? And I mean, like, he's literally building 5 neighborhoods in Detroit.
When you come to Detroit, there's one pizza family that comes up over and over again, the Illiches. In 1959, Mike and Marion Illich founded Little Caesars in the suburbs of Detroit. Today, it's the 3rd largest pizza chain in the country.
Hello, welcome to Little Caesars. You want to try any best pizza today?
Yes, I would love to order a deep, deep dish, Detroit-style pizza. I have a deep dish here, I have the signature crazy bread, but I have a feeling I'll be eating some more pizza when I get to the headquarters.
Hi,
Hey.
Frank. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, come on in.
Thank you,
We're
thank you.
very excited to have you.
Where are we headed right now?
So this is the Innovation Center in Comerica Park. It has our research and development group as well as the quality assurance team.
Wow, here we are.
Yeah.
I feel like I just walked
Hi,
into a Little
Silas.
Caesars.
Yeah, so this is our test kitchen. We've got a double-deck oven like we have in our pizza stores. Ours, however, is orange.
Well, as we're talking, in the background, all I see right now is one of my favorite products.
Right?
The crazy bread.
It is addictive, isn't it?
The crazy. Wait, I have a question. What makes the crazy bread so crazy?
The shape of the stick.
Right, the way they...
It's true, it's true. I've kind of...
Well, you can smell that.
Oh.
That garlic.
That
yeah.
garlic, maron.
Breakfast of champions.
How did this all begin?
Well, Little Caesars began in 1959. Our founders, Mike and Marion Illich, they decided they wanted to open a local pizza place. In Garden City, Michigan, they opened the very first Little Caesars Pizza Treat.
Pizza Treat. That's what it was known as at the time.
Mr. Illich wanted to call it Pizza Treat, and Mrs. Illich wasn't sure. She said, hey, it should have something Italian. It should be like Caesar. She looked at her husband and said, oh, you haven't made much of yourself, so you're just a Little Caesar. So they call it Little Caesars Pizza Treat.
So a lot of what you guys do now is kind of steeped in tradition from that first store.
Absolutely, and Mr. I, he passed earlier this year, but he was so proud that we used the original 1959 recipe.
One of the things that is unique to our dough process is it goes through a double proofing process.
So this is like Shelly said, after we kind of let them set it out at room temperature, they're all proofed. These doughs, we're gonna square them off and they're gonna go white into these pans right here.
And now we're gonna do the deep dish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, being here in Detroit and doing a Detroit-style pizza, there's got to be some pressure that comes along with that, no?
Absolutely. There's some conversation out there if the sauce needs to be on top to be a traditional Detroit-style pizza. What we found is you put it on top of the pizza and you cook it, so the flavors change.
You're reducing down the sauce,
Correct.
essentially.
So there we have it.
There it is. Now time to go in the oven, right?
Yep.
Try pizza.
Fueled by crazy bread, the R&D team put me to work.
Your task is to come up with a pizza that we could potentially take national with Little Caesars. So we would love to see what you come up with some fun toppings.
And let's say my pizza works out great and you guys love it. Do I get paid?
Great question.
You gotta say yes, I got you on camera here. The first thing that my eyes went to here was the prosciutto and the fresh mozzarella that you have.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take a couple of these mozzarella balls and kind of just break them up.
Makes it look artisan, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know what? When you break up that cheese by hand and kind of give it that little
irregularity.
So now is where we get to kind of have some fun with our herbs, and you can't beat tomato and basil. Throw this guy on top, a little more of this olive oil right on top. Can't go wrong with that, right? You can't go wrong with that. All right.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so it's coming out.
Beautiful. Look at the brown.
Looking pretty good. Smells pretty good.
Yes, you can definitely smell that fresh basil. That aromatic is still coming through. And the prosciutto.
Yeah, and we're not done yet. Now, yeah, another thing that stuck out to me was the arugula. Something that I've been seeing a lot lately is kind of like dressing a salad, just kind of take this lightly, sort of build it really high here in the middle. What we have here is the Pinello at the Little Caesars Test Kitchen. Pizza, pizza.
Awesome.
It was time to present my pizza to the judges. On the left, we had Ed Gleich, SVP of Global Marketing, and on the right, David Gray, the VP of Franchise Services.
Basically, we have your round pizza. I laid down some layers of prosciutto that you guys had, dotted it with some fresh mozzarella, and then made a little vinaigrette and kind of topped it off with the salads.
Very nice.
It's delicious, a lot of layers of flavor. I get some
Yeah,
of that
sure
acid, some of the sweet, some of the peppery notes.
What are some of the things that you guys look for when you're making a pizza like this?
I think the biggest factor we're usually up against is we do business in so many locations, right? So many different markets. So the question is, how big of the population does this appeal to? Pepperoni pizza, 90-some% of the population. So knowing that's your mass, the way we look at it is go, okay, If I add arugula to it, does that expand get me to 100, or does it start shrinking it?
Right.
The higher the movement, the fresher I'm gonna be able to rotate those ingredients.
Right, and it has to be appealing to everyone. Right. So bacon will be appealing to everyone from the Midwest to the coast. Yeah. But maybe an arugula and prosciutto pizza might just appeal to, certain cities around the country.
So the next time you see it, it'll have bacon on it, it'll be our idea. No problem. He decides whether or not, it's got the appeal. She gives us something that we really like.
Right.
And then we've got to decide whether or not we can make 1.5 million of them or however many of them it is. It's a constant challenge.
When do you guys know you have a home run on your hands in that process? Is it when you taste it here? Is it...
No, it's about 8 weeks after we roll it out. That's what it
when
really
you start
is.
seeing the sales numbers going up.
How did it go?
It's when Deb has to call purchasing and says, we need more product.
Great. Thank you for having me at the table and taking some time out of your day and tasting my pizza. I don't know if it's going to make it on the menu.
Was great.
But,
We loved it, by the way.
Thank you very much. Little sun golds. Wow, these are delicious.
I'm in Eastern Market, one of the oldest and largest historic public markets in the United States. Just across the street is Suppino Pizzeria, run by Dave Mancini. This place is unique because they serve East Coast style pizza.
It's the kind of thing that, like I said, there wasn't a lot of that around here when I first opened, and there still really isn't. It's still that Detroit style thing. And now Detroit style seems to be, I keep reading about places opening up in like Vegas and New York. I just opened a New York style place in Detroit, so I guess I did the opposite, but it's a good style of pizza.
Well, not only do you have the Eastern Market, but you also have an employee that grows some amazing produce.
Yeah, she's one of these local farmers. Yeah, we're Gwen and Allison, they run Coriander Farms, and they grow awesome stuff.
You gonna head over there and check it out?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
If you want to walk this way, you can see some of the production space. And then we do intensive vegetable production, so we've got like beets here, lettuce here. The herbs are over further to the east. This was all housing. So in the 80s, 90s, there were 6 houses here that have all been demolished. And so we bought this land, which is about a ½ acre. We have almost half of the space under production.
So we're gonna grab some stuff for the pizzeria?
Yeah, I think Gwen said she had some tomatoes for me, so.
Yeah, let's go get
San Marzanos.
some San Marzanos.
San Marzanos, perfect.
And then these guys, are those. That's what I have some that have ripened.
Yeah,
Calabrese.
that's the Calabrese. Yeah.
These are beautiful. These are
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they're great.
As a restaurant owner, being able to work with the farmer so closely like this, how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's awesome. So when I first opened Suppino, you'd hear about a couple urban farms here and there. That was almost 10 years ago, but it was hard to get it. Like there wasn't a good communication. And now there's people like Gwen now that are doing clearly committed to this process and doing it well and doing it right. And we're picking this stuff. We're bringing it a mile away to my restaurant. It's like
can't beat that.
Doesn't get any better than that.
The restaurant is packed right now. Dave's in the back making pizza. I'm gonna go jump back there and make a pie with him.
And we're just doing a base cheese.
Okay.
I do a combination of grated mozz, and we're gonna do some fresh mozzarella on this as well. We put just a tiny bit of sauce because we're using the tomatoes. So we got the chopped calabrese pepper. It's nice San Marzano tomatoes. We roasted them up with
beautiful
thyme and some tarragon, also from Gwen's garden over there.
Beautiful. Those ovens that he's using, those Marcel ovens, they have stones on top, and so they really saturate with heat, and it cooks a really nice, even pizza. So the pizza really looked great. It looked beautiful. Ooh.
This is going to be a perfect wine with this pizza, I think.
Amazing. Little Lambrusco?
This is I believe it's Nerello Mascalese.
Nice.
From the north face of Mount Etna. It's perfect for this kind of stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. This is Wendy. Get Wendy on camera.
Thank you. This looks great. A lot of your customers here have told us that it's your crust that makes the pizza special here.
You want it all to be good.
Right.
But without good crust, nothing's good. It doesn't matter what you put on, it's not going to taste good.
It's nice and light. That tarragon really leaves a nice aromatic.
I love tarragon with tomatoes. I love that mix. It's
Goes so well. Very French.
I guess, yeah. You're right. When I first opened Suppino, I knew I wanted to open downtown. My family thought I was crazy. You know, like, are you gonna open in Detroit, some gourmet place? And which I hate the word gourmet anyway, but like, I was just like, no, this is where I've been for 20 years, and I just knew I wanted to do it here, and I'm glad I did.
Couldn't be a better place for it, right across the street from the market.
That's true too, man.
My time in Detroit has been amazing. The pizza is great, the people are great, and I had one last stop to make.
So I'm Larry Mongo. Welcome to Cafe de Mongos, my club. I've been here since 1985 and have enjoyed every day of it.
Larry Mongo comes from a long line of speakeasy owners in Detroit. He always has a story to tell.
Here's a picture of me grabbing Michael Jackson's butt.
Get out of here.
So when they said, well, it's a smile, I grabbed his butt. I said, smile. He just said, see? Then he told everybody, he said, he grabbed my buns. He grabbed my buns.
Larry can also talk to you about pizza.
Our pizzas in Detroit are so good, you wouldn't even try to compete with them. I swear to God, our pizzas are great. You eat pizza in Detroit 7 days a week from a different ethnic group and have a completely different taste and experience. That's Detroit. That's why I love this city and the people of this city.
We bought you a little something for you and the family to share.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this is your favorite? This your favorite in
This
town?
is my favorite. though.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
Yes, it is. Man, somebody been snitching. I swear to God, if it tastes any better, I call it soul food. I'm telling you, it is good.
This city is special, you know, and we
thank
really
you.
got to know some of the people here, and it really kind of opened my eyes.
But that's Detroit. You guys, let me get y'all a drink, please.
It's an allergy.
That's true.
Cheers, thank you. Salute. I know who the daddy is.